It's all good. But
We're
it's
both
working.
so popular. Uh, it's so, see, look how great your skin looks, just like
Oh, well,
this.
.
I want to know what filter you're using. I need a Frank filter.
Ah, honestly, people are like, "You look so glowy." I'm like, "It's the selfie ring light."
I know.
Full transparency. That's what it is.
I'm like, people haven't figured out the ring light by now. I'm thinking of quitting dermatology and inventing Zoom filters. Like, how come no one's done that yet?
Oh,
Like, I mean,
yeah.
I look at people on Zoom and I'm like, you got to figure out the filter. If you're not getting dressed and putting on makeup going to work, you got to figure out the filter or the ring light.
I know. I know. I know. I totally agree. I see myself on Zoom sometimes and I'm like, oh gosh. Anyway.
Have you, I
How
had
are you?
to, I'm good. I had to figure out how many times did I have to work out to prepare for this meeting today. I want to know
No.
how many events have you launched already today? Do you get a day off?
I started giving myself a day off. In the beginning of quarantine, for the first, I'd say 8 weeks, I didn't give myself a day off. I
Yeah,
really wanted to give my community some kind of movement live on my app every day. But it started to take a toll on me. So I
absolutely.
started to take Mondays off. So
Oh, that's good. So this is a working day.
yeah, today I worked. I did a live this morning on the app at 11 a.m. So
So are you doing a lot more now for the app than you did like before this whole thing, or is it business as usual?
so as the only thing that's really changed and I had to pivot was I live stream on my app every day.
Right.
Before COVID, I didn't have that capability and I was just in the beginning stages of implementing the live capabilities on the app, thankfully. So that when COVID actually happened, I live streamed on my app that first weekend that we all had stay-at-home orders in New York City, which I'm just so grateful that I had
Yeah.
put that into place
Yeah.
because people had a place to just feel like, a place of consistency and accountability that they could show up and have a
Yeah.
class.
How long has the streaming service? So for everybody out there, anyone who actually could be living under a rock and not know who Megan is, she is the founder of the Sculpt Society, and she's kind of what you want to be. And she always
Oh.
has a smile on her face, and she always makes things fun. Now, my question to you is, how long has the streaming app been around?
So I launched the Sculpt Society class 3 years ago in New York City, and I
Okay.
only launched the app 6 months ago.
Oh, so that is very fortuitous for you, right?
Yes,
Because
yeah.
I'm sure there are a lot of other platforms and stuff that really haven't had their ground because I'm sure it's like not easy to launch a online service, correct?
No, no,
No.
it took me a really long time. And no, I honestly, it's a big silver lining for me in this entire thing is that I had been working on it and had launched it early enough to where I had a really great library of content for people. And yes, silver lining for
Now,
sure.
you used to travel. You used to travel quite a bit. We all used to travel quite a bit.
Yeah.
What did you do on the road? Were you making new classes on the road too? How did you do all that?
So I really tried anytime I was traveling either for work or for pleasure would try and do a pop-up class around the country because as you know we live in New York City, it can be kind of a bubble, but you
Yeah.
travel to Chicago or
Yeah.
Austin and people are so hungry for new stuff and
Yeah.
so I really the last 2 years made a point to travel around the country to do
Right.
pop-up classes and meet people face to face. I think
Yeah.
Instagram's amazing and you create this community, but then there's something really special about a face
No,
to face.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Plus,
So
when you have a live audience, there's like nothing like that, right?
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so do you secretly enjoy being at home a little bit after, because I'm sure managing everything must have been grueling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I am innately an introvert. So, which
Are
is
you?
funny because I'm in a
Oh,
very
oh.
extroverted space.
My wife will be very glad to hear that. I'm sure she's watching right now. She's the same way. But she, like you, she's so personable,
Mm,
and you wouldn't think that they're an introvert. You know what I mean? So that's surprising to hear.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I throw me in a studio when I'm teaching, I definitely that's my place of flow and I shine, but it takes a lot out of me.
Yeah.
I'm tired afterwards.
When you were, I want to talk briefly about when you were a dancer. This is how you
Yeah.
transitioned from that. Obviously, dance is filled, it's an enormous discipline, right? And it's
Yes.
probably often seemed as a grueling course to take in life. I mean, I'm sure, when did you start? When you were in diapers?
Yeah, I mean,
Something like
7.
that. Did you travel a lot then? Was it very grueling? How did you transition so well into something that went from grueling and unacceptable to most people, unaccessible to most people, to something that you really turned into something for everybody? What was the personal transition?
Yeah, so I think I'm originally from California. I'd come to New York to attend NYU's Tisch dance program. So that was very much ballet,
Oh yeah.
modern, very concert, they call it concert dance. Professionally, I graduated and was honestly just trying to navigate this really complicated world of dance and how do you afford to live in New York City, which the two don't really pair up as far as a
Yeah.
financial.
Yeah.
Financially. So I was side hustling. I was dancing professionally and decided to start teaching fitness. And that was about 10 years ago. And, you know, I think the transition for me became super organic because I had been teaching for a while. And I'd come to a point where my dance career, I felt like I had done it. I was working with the NBA. I was dancing with the Brooklynettes for 2 years. I had done theater and concert dance, and I'd done all these things. And I felt like it wasn't filling me up the way that fitness was. I was getting to see the impact on other women face to face on a daily basis. And I think I just really saw the longevity in that. And I felt like, again, I had done the dance thing. And so
Right.
I transitioned and started the Sculpt Society with the intention for non-dancers to feel successful in a dance-based fitness class. I felt like there was this huge gap. How do we make this fun and effective and not hours of working out every day? I felt like a lot of women felt like they had to do hours of cardio, hours of this. And I was like, this is
more
BS.
pressure. Don't need any more pressure.
Yeah, more pressure. Like, yeah, exactly. So I really wanted to create space for women to come and feel welcomed, feel successful, and get the results they wanted in a fun way.
Right. I bet you of all the amazing things that you probably have on your resume, I bet you everyone always like, well, what was it like dancing for the Nets?
Yeah.
Right? That's everybody has that like one thing. You're like, really? Like people ask me, oh, you were in this magazine or that magazine. I'm like, I have these diplomas up on the wall here. Do you want to pay attention to those? And they're like, oh my God, you treat Madonna or stuff like that. Like that's the stuff people want to hear. So I'm not going to make you go into that, but I did want to point out that cool.
Listen, it was really cool. I was there with the first 2 years when the Nets they were at the Barclays Center. It was the first 2 seasons. The energy was amazing. I was with the top talent, like the top dancers in the country in New York City, and I was performing for 20,000 people. Like there are moments where I'll look back and can't really believe that was my life.
That's crazy. Do you have I think every great business, every great person, no matter what discipline, has a kind of mentor. Not someone you want to be, but someone that you could emulate a little bit. Was there anyone in the fitness or dance community that was like, I could do this,
I wish I could say I had a mentor in the fitness space. I don't think I did. I had, there's at the studio that I started at, I think my mentor was the head trainer, and she really taught me. Her name's Katie, and I'll always remember her. She really took me under her wing, and I think I just appreciate her and her time. I think from like a spiritual sense, you have your Gabby Bernsteins and Marie Forleo and those type of people that really helped me tune into what my purpose is, and I think gave me the courage to take that leap.
Gabby does that for everybody.
I know. Wow. Well, I first launched the Sculpt Society, and I think a month afterwards, I went to her New York City Spirit Junkie class. And that really sort of got me in line to what I wanted to do.
She's been doing great work right now with her meditation courses and stuff like that. I did an IG live with her a couple of weeks ago when I was really going through my illness and dealing with a little PTSD from the whole thing. And I've known Gabby for many years. And I went back during my recovery and I reread a couple of her books, and it just kind of always plays through. Now, I know I see a lot of both of our audiences. They're like, when are they going to get to fucking skin already?
Oh, skincare. Yes, I know. Well, I'm so excited. Well,
but you know what? Before we get to skincare, I wanted to tell the audience why, other than the fact that we've become friendly and work together professionally, why I think it's so important that we have someone from my area of expertise, someone from your expertise. Because I really find, and this is the theme of my book that's coming out, the Pro Aging Playbook, for so many years, beauty and wellness have almost been at odds, right? They're like, if you're into wellness, you can't be into beauty. And if you're into beauty, it's like those people, you know, who eat health food and don't eat meat and all that stuff. But I think as time goes on, they're becoming a lot closer friends. And it's because they're not dichotomous. The things that you do for your health make you look good. And believe it or not, there are things that you do for the way you look that are good for the health of your skin too. And I think we're now, you know, beauty doesn't have to be a bad word anymore. There's not a stereotype to it. And like what you're doing with fitness, it doesn't have to be this like grueling stereotype thing. There's something in it for everybody. Everybody out there has their version of a good hair day. It's not about meeting a certain standard of beauty or gender or orientation or anything. And I think it's the same thing with moving your body. You have to find a balance for you. I mean, there are people that are handicapped that could find exercise, right?
Yeah, or the notion that, you know, women have to do hours of cardio every day. And it's just anything in excess is not good for us. And everyone has to find, like, their skincare and their wellness routine, something that works for them. And everyone's going to be a little different.
So everybody always asks me whenever I do interviews, there's like, Dr. Frank, you inject all these things, you have so many skincare products, you have lasers, you have all these things. What's the one thing if I had to choose, or one group of things if you had to choose to make you age the best? And I always say exercise, sleep, nutrition, and meditation. The rest is just icing on the cake. And I really, really believe that. And people don't, you know, they expect me to sell, oh, Botox or Fraxel or whatever. But I really don't think any of the things that I do on a more professional level work that well unless you're doing the stuff on the inside. You can put on all the fancy creams you want, but if you're laying in the sun not wearing sunscreen, it's like trying to heal a bruise when someone keeps punching you in the arm.
Yeah.
Now, exercise is probably the number one I hate the word anti-aging because it makes aging sound bad, but the number one pro-aging thing you can do for yourself is exercise, because it stimulates all the things that improve skin elasticity, collagen production, growth hormone, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, DHES, cortisol, all these hormones that go on in your body. It has been shown that more than anything that you can inject or put on the skin, increase skin elasticity. Now, you had asked me before about, can you exercise too much?
Yeah, well, someone had written into me saying, is that a myth that if you're exercising too much, it's damage to your skin?
Yeah, I think it depends on how hard impact you do. We both know that there are addicts to everything, right? You can eat too many avocados, just like you can go to you know, is it possible to do Sculpt Society too much? I mean, you must have people that do like 3-4 of your sessions a day, right?
But yes, it is possible to do too much. And especially during this time, I keep trying to hone into people that this idea that we need to be doing hours of exercise a day is BS. And, you know, if you find a program that's, you know, really done properly and formatted a program correctly, like, you don't need to be doing hours of exercise, and you know, max 45-50 minutes is enough. And if today you did 20 minutes and you're sweating and you have those good endorphins, that's okay. I absolutely do have those clients that are probably doing too much.
It's like that with they're like that in skincare. That's the biggest problem, is that people are doing too much. You know, they want the answer, like, buy this, answer that, do more of this, do more of that. And in all honesty, I'm just like, I always say the rule of KISS: keep it simple, stupid. Find out what you like, find out what works for you, and run with that. And I'm sure it's the exact same thing in exercise. And from watching you, it seems like you're able to accomplish a lot of body movements and type of things all at once, and somehow keep a smile on your face the whole time. How do you sweat like that and keep smiling? You know?
Yeah, I mean, today I taught my 30-minute sculpt class, and that's it for me today. I think there's also a little psychological for people who are a little addicted to it. It's the more they think that they need the more, and it's actually just kind of relaxing and realizing 30 minutes is great.
Yeah,
you know?
And you can't do 10 of anyone's classes and then expect to just eat like crap the whole weekend either. You know, people think, well, if I do enough Botox and filler, I could bake myself in the sun, or I don't have to do, you know, I really try skincare wise to look at the whole picture. And you don't have to kill yourself in any one arena. You don't have to never drink alcohol or never, like, eat certain foods or things like that. You just gotta like slow and steady wins the race. And I always see this in exercise because we live in a culture now that is so, fortunately, fitness driven, you know, but yet so many people still seem to battle weight issues, hormone issues, skin issues, all these type of things. And it's just, I think it's not because there's not the exercise out there, it's just about the balance.
Yeah, and I love what you said, simple, stupid. You know, I think people want the quick fixes, whether it's in skincare or in your health. And I think, A, it's consistency. So can you be consistent
That's
with
it.
20 to 30 minutes a day?
That's
Are
it.
you eating real food?
Yeah,
Real
yeah,
food.
yeah.
It's not a bar. It's
Yeah.
not a powder. It's not a pill.
Yeah.
And are you putting on sunscreen? Like all those things. Are you sleeping? It's simple, stupid, and being consistent with it.
Yeah. So you brought up, can you put something in a pill? One of the questions that you sent me was about supplements. I get this question all the time. And I've written like a chapter on this in my book. But the simple thing is I view supplements like a form of medicine. And anything you put into your body that can be good can have detriment. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, although the pharmaceutical companies are, you know, there's a lot to say negative about what goes on, at least there is some level of regulation in that industry. In the supplement industry, it is literally the Wild West. And studies have been done to show that a lot of what you think is in it is not in it. And there are a lot of things not on the label that are in it. And people do run into problems. And, you know, we all have limited bandwidth. If you put your bandwidth into like the ins and outs of your body, the exercise, the using the energy, and the energy you're actually putting in terms of real food, I think we would all need much, much fewer supplements. Now, there are certain instances, like I had a mild mercury toxicity at some point during in the end of the year. And my physician put me on some supplements. And then even after COVID, he put me on like turmeric and NAC and some more naturopathic anti-inflammatories. And I think there's a place for them. But I think, again, as you said, people are like, they're looking for pills. They're looking in the wrong places, and I think people have to be careful. People always ask about collagen supplements, right? Like they're going to put collagen in their body, and their wrinkles are going to go away. You know, anything you put in, nothing you do to your body is going to go to one place. There's really no way you could isolate one muscle in your body and not have it affect the rest.
Right, it's like spot treatment for working out. It just doesn't work.
You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. I say if you're taking protein supplements and you're maybe someone like, I don't eat a lot of red meat, it's rare. And as I get older, I do exercise a lot. So I was taking protein supplements. But again, you have to think these things out and realize there's nothing you could take just for your hair, just for your nails, just for your skin.
Yeah.
So
long story short, are you not a fan of collagen powder or supplements?
I used to, but then I got mercury toxicity.
Okay.
I eat a lot of fish.
Yeah.
Then there was some concern that maybe in the bovine collagen I was taking, there was some mercury.
Oh, interesting.
Which you don't think about.
No,
taking plant collagen is a waste of time. You have to take bovine collagen or meat collagen to have the same type of amino acids that go in.
Yeah.
And you know, for people that are vegetarian or vegan, that defeats the whole purpose, right? Okay. And you know, there's concerns about contaminants. And of course, on the nice box, it says they're grass fed and they're of a certain population. But again, there's no regulation. So now whenever I have questions, I call my physician, who is my primary care doc and a well-read integrative medicine doctor. And I think, you know, everyone who's curious about all these things needs to seek out someone with some background in integrative medicine, because there really is science out there now. It's not just people randomly popping wheat germ and pills and vitamins. You know, there really is science. I mean, I think in the future, our children's generation, the whole concept of hormonal manipulation. There's been controversy of hormone replacement for women for many, many years. And we know what it does when women go through menopause or men go to andropause, what it does to their exercise tolerance. It's still a little bit the Wild West. I think in the next 20 years is going to be a much more science, because the fact of the matter was, most of us weren't meant to live to 50 years old. We weren't meant for our hormone levels to drop and to watch our muscles wither, you know? Most of us died of like tuberculosis or strep throat at 27 when we were at our finest. But one of the other, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I feel like another top, like probably the top question I got from my community was, how to deal with melasma, brown spots, you know, sunspots. Like, what would you suggest to someone who's
Did you
dealing
write
with
that question? Did you write that question yourself?
well, no, because that's why I came. Well, no, so I came, for everyone who's tuning in from my side, that's how I was introduced to Dr. Paul Frank.
Yeah,
was because I deal with melasma, and I was told that you have, you know, great lasers, and I did a laser with you, so maybe you can speak to that a little bit more.
Yeah, so you know, melasma is probably one of the most difficult conditions, as you know, because it's like no one's fault. It's very hormonally based, and for some people just have a sensitivity to estrogen levels in the body that creates pigment. Darker skin types have it more. They call it the mask of pregnancy because when your estrogen levels go up, it worsens. Also, birth control pill. Now, if you're someone who's not on birth control pill and not pregnant, that doesn't mean you have dangerous high levels of estrogen. It just means you're sensitive to it. And we have great technologies to rid of it, but then what happens? It comes back. You know, you can't change the body's inherent structure. So, like talking to anybody about anti-aging, I have to talk about what we're going to do in my office and what we're going to do at home.
Yeah.
And, you know, not to be harsh, but anyone that thinks that sun exposure, they're going to be able to control their melasma while still enjoying the sun a lot, it's just tough. It doesn't mean you can't be outside. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself, but you have to be cautious. You have to wear sunscreen. You have to wear a hat when you're on a boat and when you're swimming or surfing or doing all these. You know, people are athletic. They want to be outdoors. I don't want to tell them that they can't be outside. I'm embarrassingly a little tan myself, but you know, dermatology is one of these fields where really all people are not created equal based on the color of their skin, sadly, you know, and some people are sensitive. We tend to use a combination of topical therapies. There are some great lasers that we use, and sun avoidance, and that's really it. And as you've seen, sometimes it's great and sometimes it's bad. And there really is no best laser. People always ask me that, what is the best technology? And as we've discussed, sometimes we combine several small things to do something big, because like exercise, like nutrition, like Botox, like anything, a little bit could be good and too much could be bad. The right laser at a certain amount could get rid of it. The wrong laser, too much, could make it worse than ever. What's nice is there have been a lot of advances topically. We don't have to use like the harsh hydroquinones anymore, which can cause sensitivity. They can be toxic. There's evidence to show they can be carcinogenic. So there are other types of medicines, including oral medicines, which aren't worth getting into. What people need to realize, if you're willing to find a maintenance program, there's an answer for it. And I think
you gave me that SkinCeutical serum. Can you remind me what it's called?
I think I gave you the Color Defense, which is tranexamic acid, which is relatively new. It comes in a pill form for some people who have it severe. It's actually a medicine that women use to take for excessive bleeding. And they found, like most things in medicine, by accident, of course, that it helps with pigment. So it's a medicine that you could take for the short term or long term. When you use it topically, it doesn't make you sun sensitive, which is really the most important thing, because you are going to be outside. You can't live your life indoors. And certainly during the summer months, you want something that's not going to make you sun sensitive, like Retin A or hydroquinone. And
sorry, no, go for it.
No, go ahead about
yourself. Oh, I had a lot of questions from women about retinol.
Yeah.
What your thoughts were on that?
Retinol is the over-the-counter equivalent of Retin A, and it's great. The retinoids, that family of medicines, are really I would say they're the most, if not only, truly proven anti-aging ingredient that help with texture, they help with fine lines, they help build collagen. The problem is the prescription Retin A, I find less than 50% can tolerate it. It irritates, it causes flaking of the skin, it causes sun sensitivity, and retinol, although it's weaker, it doesn't work as well, and it can be irritating too. So retinol is great. When it comes to anything with the skin, you have to find something that works for you. We are all sold so many pieces of content, and we're buying. The average woman uses 10 different products they may try in a year. In Korea, the average man uses 14, 15 different products in a year. So again, back to the simplify things. If you have a regimen that's like 10-step and you love it and it smells great and it's expensive and you like the bottle, it makes you feel good about yourself, that's great. I'm not saying that's not it, but so many women come in with fear, and men come in with fear and frustration. and I just got to strip it down for them and start from scratch, because people don't realize even the natural ingredients, even the clean ingredients, anything you put on your hide, your body's going to have a reaction to. So many people that have come to me, because I started going back to work and seeing people, so many of my patients have said that their skin, hair, and nails have gotten better. You want to know why? Because they stopped putting shit on it. They're not putting on makeup and concealer every day. They're not putting on nail lacquers. They're not putting all types of stuff in their hair and the glue on eyelashes. And they're like, wow, my nails are stronger than ever. So, you know, I think simplifying, unfortunately, I think what we're all going through is showing us that maybe a simpler life is better in many ways.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you're exercising or not.
So for someone, what would you say for someone who needs to, has a routine, but like what are the essentials for their skincare? Simple.
It is cleanse, moisturize, cleanse, hydrate, protect. That's it. You need 3 things: cleanser, sunscreen, hydration. That's it.
Wow.
Now, not everyone has the same skin. When you want to start adding products, you add them one at a time, and you must give them 4 to 6 weeks, right? People are like, they put it on, they think, is it going to work right away? When you see a product work right away, it's not because of the active ingredients. It's because of the inactive ingredients, the things that give reflection off the skin, the things that coat the skin. They're they're the ring lights and makeup of the product, right? The active ingredients of the skin are really going to take 4 to 6 weeks, right? I mean, yes, after you do a workout for the first time, you feel a little buff up, but the real difference takes time. Your body needs to adjust, right? So if you're like trying something for a week and then trying something else, or you're trying 2 new things at the same time, you could only imagine it's not that different than trying to do your class and 10 other regimens all at the same time. Your body's just going to get fucked up, right?
Yeah. Another really popular question was about hormonal acne and just acne in general, cystic acne. Any tips there?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, you have to, if it really is hormonal acne, a lot of women tend to get it down here and around the mouth. You first have to do you have normal periods? If you don't have normal periods, that's usually a sign. That's the most sensitive thing, that something may be off. And if you do, you should see endocrinologist, OBGYN. Unfortunately, a lot of women have adult acne and their hormones are fine. There are a lot of great medicines that can be used. There aren't that many things that are over the counter. You really got to seek a dermatologist. There's a great drug, both orally and topically, called Spironolactone, which controls the extra levels of androgen hormones in the body. Women tend to be sensitive to these women have testosterone too, right? So it can affect that. And, you know, there are things, topical oral antibiotics. I have a lot of women who really suffer from acne as an adult that never had it as a teenager. And what happens when you're 16, marks go away. When you're 30 or 40, the marks stay forever. There are a lot of women I put on medicines like Accutane. I always start slow. You know, we try and do the simple, natural things first, but then we have to build a relationship to really take things stepwise. And people have to realize Rome is not built in a day. If you have any medical problem, whether it's of your skin or your kidneys or your lungs, there's never going to be a magic bullet. And I think people are used to magic bullets, right? I mean, you must find it frustrating. I mean, obviously people coming to you because they want results, right? They don't want to just have fun.
Yeah. No, it's you know, time and time again, I think it's with whether it's your body or skincare, people just want the quick fix. And again, it goes back to just, can you be consistent for 4 to 6 weeks and like stick with it?
Patient. Just be a little patient with yourself. I mean, when I was recovering, I was very hard on myself. I wanted to get to 100% of my exercise capacity, because to me, that was going to prove to myself that I'm cured. I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs for a week or 2 afterwards. And you know what? I switched up my regimen. I always tell everybody, when I was in my 20s, I hated yoga. And people are like, why don't you just do something simple like yoga? And I was like, fuck yoga. And I used to wear the t-shirt, fuck yoga. And you know what? In my recovery, I've been doing it 3 times a week along with my other things. And it's been amazing. Sometimes you have to change. Sometimes you have to listen to your body. And it's the same thing with your skin. Listen to your skin. The answer isn't always add. It's the power of subtracting. Okay? It's okay to give your skin and your body a break, because you're taking care of yourself in every other aspect. You're hopefully eating right and prioritizing your sleep. And you don't have to kill it on the bike, or you could just stretch that day. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yep. I love
I don't,
that.
I think,
You
go ahead.
Oh, you talk a lot about skincare from, inside first. Is there
Yeah.
anything that, we should be adding in from a food aspect that can really
Yeah.
support healthy skin?
Again, anything that you're going to do for your overall well-being is going to be great for your skin. So sure, if you're one of those annoying people who could eat whatever they want, have great skin and stay skinny and stuff like my wife, that's great. You can eat whatever you want. But most of us, as we get older, we have to limit our sugar. We have to watch our dairy. There are people as they get older who have a range of gluten sensitivity. They can't tolerate certain types of meat. So again, I think sugar is the main thing, I find. I mean, I'm 50 years old and I've dramatically had to change my eating and exercise habits to a point where I feel like it's serving me and not just beating myself up. So, the same things that everyone is always hearing about, more fish, less meat. These are the things that are great for the skin too. People can't think about one organ. They have to think about the whole picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what do you tell your people? Because I'm sure, like me, you're constantly talking about things that aren't necessarily your expertise, right? I'm constantly talking about food. I'm constantly talking about meditation. What do you do?
No, it's the same thing. I think, again, I'm trying to get people away from thinking of a diet and thinking of food as really eating intuitively,
Yeah.
but eating real food. And again, going back to the simple stupid, like, are you eating real food from the earth? Is it, fruit? Is it whole grains? Vegetables? Keeping it simple. And I think people want me to tell them exactly what I'm eating because I think if I eat exactly how Megan eats, it's going to work. And I always say to them, it's like fitness, it's like skincare, whatever it is. You have to figure out what works for you and your body. But again, don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah. Well, I want to eat just like you because you were having margaritas and nachos or something the other night. So I like that. It's very funny you say that because, again, this whole world of social media and putting not only your career, but your life, you become a representative for your brand, so to speak. And believe me, the last thing I expected this as a doctor is to be like what I'm cooking, what I'm exercising, what I'm doing, all that. I'm proud of what I do, but I didn't think people would respond so much to be like, if I eat a collagen supplement, everyone wants to know which collagen supplement. And it puts a certain pressure for us to acquire the knowledge in the other fields, which is why I love.
Well, and that's why, I mean, listen, I'm not a food expert, I think, but, like last night we ordered a Mexican food. It was delicious. I enjoyed it. Today I had a big salad with goat cheese and grilled vegetable. It's not, I don't eat that way all the time, but yes, of course I have it and I enjoy it.
I know. And people need to know that. People need to see people like us, like having a glass of wine every once in a while.
Totally. Yeah.
Because really I find for a lot of people, certain stringent lifestyles, unless they have to be on it for medical reasons or other reasons, they're not sustainable. Yeah. Life is about, and again, this is the theme I always go through with like the pro-aging lifestyle. It's about finding vitality in a sustainable fashion. And it's not about comparing yourself to others. There's always going to be someone better looking, in better shape, could eat more carbs, all these things. It's about finding this kind of better version of yourself that you could not only aspire to, because we all need a goal, I think. We all need some sort of goal, but it's finding something that's going to be sustainable and continue to make you feel good about yourself instead of beating yourself up. And I think in my field, that's how the stereotype was, that people who care about their melasma or care about their wrinkles, it's just vanity. And I think vanity is really, it's a reward for self-care because you take care of, you should feel good about the way you feel.
Yeah, we want to feel confident. Okay, back to my other questions I have for you. Other questions people were asking, if you had to have one device at home, what would you have? Like
a device?
A skincare device.
I actually like the rollers now. I'm kind of into rollers right now.
But like a jade roller?
Well, not so much the jade roller. I mean, the jade rollers, I don't think it makes that much of a difference what kind of roller. I like something a little ergonomically larger. I'm biased because I have a roller that I helped develop for MDNA Skin, the line I did with Madonna, but that got me into rollers when I was involved in developing that. Because I really do believe that the aiding in the lymphatic drainage and the stimulation of circulation in the body, much like massage, right? Much like exercise.
Yeah, like facial massage.
Yeah, like facial massage, I am cautious of. I'm not big on other people touching your skin because they don't know. When you're using a roller, you have more of a sense. Plus, a whole nother thing is that if people do have injections and stuff in their face, you don't want to like shift things around too much. But I do like the rollers. I think they give short-term and long-term benefit. And although I think there's a huge growing market at-home technology, I haven't, like the LED lights, they help a little bit. The home microneedling devices, they're nice, but they're not going to really penetrate in a way that ones in the office were. But I always...
What about the LED lights for your hair, for hair growth?
Believe me, I had the hair helmet. I had it, okay?
Not good?
I've done everything I can to maintain this mane here. You know, it's kind of like, again, this is how I feel with a lot of things at skin. I'm the type of person, if I'm going to do something for myself or recommend it, I want to see results, right? We have limited time, limited money. You know, I don't want to piss on a forest fire. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of these things that are sold out there in the skincare world, beauty world, are hope in a bar, hope in a jar, hope in a light. I want people to find the few things that work. If you have hair problems, you can take topical progesterone, minoxidil. For men, there's the finasteride medicine. There are options, but again, some people like it. If it serves you, you could do it. You know, what people have to realize when it comes to skin, the number one thing is to protect, and that is to make sure that they have a good amount of hydration and a good amount of sun protection. Anything above and beyond that is icing on the cake, whether it's a serum, a peptide, a growth hormone, anything like that. One of the questions that your audience put up was about blue light. Yeah. Because we're all like staring into a stream right now. Yeah. Well, blue light is on the spectrum. It's not as dangerous as UVA and UVB, but it does penetrate deep. So I suppose if you were using your computer as a tanning bed, which I guess we do if we're on it 8 hours a day, right? Yeah. It's certainly not great for your skin. I'm more concerned about what it does for your eyes and for your sleep patterns, because and your brain, because I have no doubt that what it does to your sleep pattern, because what do we do before we go to bed? We check our email, we flip through we think it's like a wind down. It's not a wind down, it's a wind up. Yeah. But it's so
I just looked into blue light glasses.
Yeah.
Like
there are screens you could put on. That, you know, I think I like the screens better. You could put them over your phone. You could put them over your computer. You know, mineral-based sunscreen will protect you from UVB. You know, they will. Oh, okay. So chemical sunscreens, which are fortunately going out of vogue now, because aside from, you know, absorbing into the body and can causing some problems, they're not great for the environment. More people are getting into mineral-based sunscreens. The reason why people didn't use them in the past is because they leave you white and pasty. So the newer formulations are micronized. They're much, much better. But, you know, who's going to put on sunscreen to do a Zoom meeting?
No, I know. I need to get that. I didn't realize that there were covers for that. Okay, let me see here. Someone just asked about PRP. What's your thought on PRP?
Okay. PRP I actually love for hair. For women who have hair thinning. You know, there are fewer options for women hair loss than there are for men. And I think PRP is a very good option. By the way, for people out there, PRP is a technique where we draw your blood. We're able to isolate the growth factors that are found naturally in your body from your platelets, and then we can inject it. Now, a lot of people are injecting PRP into the face, and there's very limited data. Again, like the hair cap with the LED, I think for the face, it's rather expensive and traumatic, meaning it bruises the hell out of you, to make it worth the cost and the time and the effects. And I say that mostly because there are other options that are more well-studied, more predictable, and that can be in the form of other types of injections or lasers or other devices. So again, if you've done it and you like it, great, but when someone comes to me for a consult, it's not the first 5 things on my list.
Okay.
So
Good. Okay. Good to
what
know
else
about
you
the
got?
hair though. And then acne scarring. That's a tough
Yeah.
one.
Listen, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Is that what they say? You know, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I'm very aggressive in treating acne in adult women because, again, teenagers, not that I want to see pimples on teenagers, but it's a little bit more age appropriate and they heal much quicker. The skin scars and easily when you're older. So I try and be as aggressive as I can, not only from topicals all the way up to Accutane. Once people get acne scars, there's nothing topically or at home that you can do. You're really going to be delegated to seeing someone like me. The good news is there's an enormous amount of lasers out there. We can get rid of the redness. We can improve the texture. There are things that you can inject into the scar, permanent fillers that are indented. There are a lot of options. But the point is, if you think you have scarring acne and you are an adult, go see a dermatologist. Don't mess around.
Yeah.
Like, because the infomercials aren't going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. What would you say to someone who doesn't want to go the Botox filler route? What are some natural things that someone can do to maintain healthy, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, then this is the patient that I really do go into skincare with, right? That I want them to make sure that they have it. I give them the talk about, 90% of sun damage and wrinkles is sun. And they say, no, not 90, 50. And I'm like, well, look at your ass, right? No wrinkles, right? Even, smooth, softer than your face. I mean, definitely sun is the big deal. I try and get patients on, could you hear me? I try and
Yeah.
get patients on retinoids, on prescription Retin-A, because again, that is the most potent thing that they can do. There are other forms of peptides and things. It's really just about skin quality. Now, there are patients who won't do injectables, but they will consider light-based things. And there are a lot of lasers for resurfacing, similar to the ones you use for melasma,
Yeah.
that boost collagen. People have this misconception that laser or injections, they're automatically going to destroy you. Now, don't get me wrong, there's abuse of anything. And unfortunately, you only notice the bad work out there, right? You don't notice the good work. But there is a controlled amount of lasers, injections, and many different things that actually improve the health of your skin. A lot of people don't realize that even the lasers I use for melasma, they decrease your risk of skin cancer.
Oh, wow.
So, and then I have other patients that are like, lasers bad, burned skin. Give me all the Botox and filler you have. You
Oh,
know what I
interesting.
mean? So I think like if you're doing a one-on-one training, you have to find out what people's expectations are, right? And you have to use your expertise to try and match those expectations. And I think to me, that's not only the skill of what you and I do, it's also the fun,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's the fun.
Yeah.
So.
And with the retinoids, do you like summertime? That can be. Do you recommend it like seasonally?
I do. Well, listen, for people that are like, Doc, I'm at your office for aging purposes, but I don't want procedures. I'm assuming that they're going to be committed to some sort of thing. And those patients that aren't willing to do anything, I really like, listen, you shouldn't be in the sun. You should be outside, but you should be the type of person that wears a wide brimmed hat and sunscreen. And I tell people, and this is what I do also, I like to be outside before 10:30 a.m. and after 3. Those are the best times for me. I could put on one layer of sunscreen and enjoy myself. But if you think you're going to put on SPF 15 at 12 noon and like just chill out with a book, I
Yeah.
mean, you're kind of kidding yourself there. So it's about commitment, right? Whether you're changing your lifestyle of food or exercise or skin, we talked about it's a lifestyle thing, and habits don't have to be a bad thing because once you get used to them, it just becomes part of your life. I can't
Yeah.
imagine not exercising. I mean, man, when I was sick, I went like 4 weeks. I don't remember the last time I did that,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
And I was eating a pint of ice cream a day just trying to get calories because I lost 10 pounds with fever.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, wow. So people have to realize the race is long, but it doesn't mean it can't be fun. It's
Yeah.
just about teaching those habits. And then also a lot of those people, they do like the at-home stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll figure it
Okay.
out.
Love it. This is really good. So you're okay. Number one anti-aging product you would say retinoid, right?
Yeah, a retinoid.
Um, Gosh, I'm trying to think what other questions. Maybe we can look at the audience.
Oh yeah, we're getting some thumbs up there.
Is there a sunscreen you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, I actually like the La Roche-Posay products quite a bit.
Okay.
Again, mineral based is going to be the best. You want to find something that blends in with your skin. I make a sunscreen, my private label, that has a little tint in it. So it actually, it's silicone based and has a tint in it. So it rubs in completely clear. And a lot of the other products out there have that. You can even use it. It gives like a kind of a silky glow. And La Roche-Posay has great products, even for children to adults, with a wide price range.
Okay, I love that.
Let's see. Doctor has great skin. That's called filter. That's ring light.
Oh, rosacea. A lot of questions about rosacea.
Rosacea is very much like an adult form of acne. We use the same creams, the same antibiotics, and the same technologies. The problem is it tends to be more chronic. The misconception is that a lot of people are left with redness, and no cream and no antibiotic will get rid of that, only laser technology. The good news is the lasers that exist now, and there are like half a dozen that I use, don't have to be so expensive, don't have to have a lot of downtime, and will control it. And so there are patients who come in a few times a year to every few weeks to do like light little laser treatments to control that redness and the rosacea. It's mostly a genetic thing, this like Celtic skin.
Yeah, yeah. My dad actually just got rosacea and he's 65.
What is your ethnic background? Like where are you?
Lithuanian, Scottish, and English. My parents grew up in Cape Town though, so it's
Right,
a little,
right.
I'm a mutt.
That's right. So you don't really have an accent. You're California based, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What brought you to New York? Oh, it was NYU?
Yeah, NYU.
How was that program? Pretty grueling, right?
So grueling.
Do you keep in touch with people from your dance years?
You know what? Not really. From my college, from my college class.
Yeah.
I don't. It's so interesting though because my fiance went to IU and had like the traditional all-American college experience. And when we trade stories, I'm like, I did not have it. Like, I was like at a conservatory, right? Like it was just such a different experience. Yeah, very strange. I do feel like I kind of missed out on that like true college experience.
So now you mentioned your man there. I want to know, I noticed you talk mostly about women. When are you going to get us dudes in there? Do you have your husband in shape? Is he doing the sculpt with you?
He live streams with me like multiple times a week, and I really wanted to get him involved because obviously so many people in quarantine are quarantined with their partners or roommates or whatever, and I wanted to show people that men can do this program too.
Some men can dance. Okay?
Yes.
We can dance. You don't know this about me. My audience knows this about me. But my childhood, I was practically a professional roller disco stayer.
Oh my gosh.
My parents in the early 80s, even though they are a dentist and a nurse, they owned roller discos in Brooklyn. So I didn't go to like sleepaway camp. While people were at like bar mitzvahs and stuff, I was skating 40 hours a week on 8 wheels and part of a whole like kind of dance culture. Wow. So yeah, I'm ready to sculpt.
I feel like you'd be great at dance cardio then.
I'm ready. Oh my God. So what's for dinner tonight before I let you go?
You know, our refrigerator is, we need to go to the grocery store. I likely means we'll probably order something in. I'm not sure. I think so. Like a lazy New Yorker, we'll order something in.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's like, is it pouring in New York City?
I think it finally stopped. It was pouring all day today.
Yeah. I exercised, I got some work done, had a great chat with you. And then I'm like, when that's over, it's going to be, I think it's that time to have a glass of wine.
Definitely. Well, this was so fun. Thank you so much for chatting.
Thank you so much. It's, I get to see you live and on IG Live. Yes. So
where can people find your book? When is it out?
So it's out on July 7th. It's called The Pro-Aging Playbook, Embracing a Lifestyle of Beauty and Wellness Inside and Out. But you can get it on Amazon and you can get it on Barnes & Noble right now. Oh, and that's it. I'm hoping that this will all calm down so I can have a party, right? Can't we all have parties again one day?
I know. I'm supposed to have a wedding. I don't know if that's gonna
Oh
happen.
yeah, oh yeah. Who needs weddings, right? We need book parties.
We'll
Oh
see.
my
It might
God.
happen over Zoom.
That's right. Well, do me a, yeah, don't have a Zoom wedding.
No, no.
Okay.